Hello again, YouTube. In this video, I will talk about how Bitcoin gets its value. Uh, Bitcoin by itself does not have any value because it's just code. Uh, and it's just a number, like a kind of like a password and a value for how much Bitcoin you have. So that by itself doesn't have any value. So value comes from people with money, people who currently have money, putting their money and their access to their markets into the Bitcoin economy. So that number that you can look up on Google or whatever exchange that tells you that a Bitcoin is worth $280 right now is just the exchange rate for a Bitcoin into US dollars. That's not necessarily the value of what a Bitcoin is. The value comes from people using the Bitcoin and what they value it as. So otherwise, that would mean that the US dollar or whatever the exchange rate to that local currency is more valuable than Bitcoin. So yeah, so it's pretty subjective. The value of Bitcoin is subjective, and there's a lot of factors that go into it, such as artificial rarity and stuff like that gives it artificial value. But the real value comes from people using it. Otherwise, it has no value. So then, what gives money value? Well, the value of money itself is made-up numbers. So the throwaway answer is that the Fed makes it, or whatever the local federal bank of whatever country determines that. But the actual value of money is determined by how influential a certain market is. So let's say like the meat market or the car market or the weapons market, depending on how influential or how consumable, how much demand there is for that industry, then you can determine the value of that market, and then you could put a number to that market compared to other markets. So it's almost made. It is made up. It's not almost. It is made up. The value of money is made up. That's why the Fed can come up with a number for how much influence America has, and that's why the U.S. dollar is appealing to other countries. Is not because it can make up a bigger number. It's because that number has to correlate with the economy, propaganda, all sorts of stuff that is not tangible. Again, that's what I base Bitcoin on. It has to do with illusion, the illusion of value, why something is of value. So money has value because what that value represents is valuable to other people. That's where the value of money comes from. So the reason the US dollar is so popular is because people want to be more American. You know, even though technically the euro, the number is bigger than the US dollar, but in my observation, the US dollar will always have more value simply because more people want to be more American. So that's how money gets its value. It has to do with perception, not necessarily that you make the number bigger. Otherwise, there's the Keynesian economics thing where you can inflate the number as big as you want, thinking that that's what gives it value, and you find out that that's wrong. It's because nobody wanted to be Kenyan, right? You don't want to be part of that market. You don't want to be part of that economy, and that's why you can print or mint as much money as you want, but it's not valuable, so therefore, that's why it doesn't work. So that's where the value money comes from. It has to do with illusion, perception, what's cool and what's not. Okay, cool. That's just my opinion or my observation. So you don't have to quote me on that. Yeah, I think that should answer it. Pretty much it's a psychological thing. It's a philosophical experiment, social experiment. So the value comes from people using it, people giving it value. Otherwise, it has no real value. It's just numbers. And the numbers itself don't have value. Hope that helps. Thanks for watching.